9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what time the stream starts. And it started well. Sound seems to be working fine. Good morning, friends. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. I'm glad to have you back on a Monday morning. Sleep is not optional. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do it quickly because I am slightly under time pressure, but you have until I've made my coffee and actually finished it to have this conversation. But before any of that, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good weekend. It's 6 a.m. here in the Netherlands. I'm starting my day. I have a 1 hour and somewhat minutes of a drive ahead because I need to be in a different city for work today, which is why I'm a bit under time pressure because I want to get ahead of traffic, but I also wanted to spend time with you talking about health, fitness, and longevity because that's what we're committed to, right? So if you're here and you're watching this channel, you're wondering what it is about, my name is Toby, I'm 41 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life, not only now, but when I'm going to be 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90, I would like to be self-sufficient and active as I age, and that is what I would like to be focused on in my life. Okay. Why is that important to me? It's important to me because I've realized that we are all collectively getting older, and chances are relatively large that I might turn 80, I might even make it to 90, and I would like to be able to do the things that I want to do on my own terms. As I hit that age, I would like to be disease-free, discomfort-free. I would like to have a full range of motion. I would like to be strong. I'd like to be able to move around and use my body. And I think one of the keys there is to take good care of my mind and body and to use it well, not only now, but also into the future. In any case, if that's something that you're interested in, you go ahead, hit like, subscribe, and we can continue to have this conversation, not only today, but over time and different modalities and formats. I run live streams of my workouts in the morning, and I show up here for some conversation during my podcast, usually about 10-15 minutes, so it's very snackable, and we can simply get on the same page about some of the key topics in keeping ourselves healthy and fit. So that being said, hit like, subscribe, and let's continue talking. Today's training, I did a mix of mobility and conditioning. Why did I do that? I'm suffering from a phantom foot injury. Nobody can explain what happened to it, least of all me. It isn't broken, and I'm trying to figure out what kinds of strain and stress I'm able to put on it without hindering the recovery trajectory that I seem to be on, meaning that it seems I'm recovering well, and I don't want to detract from that, but at the same time I also don't want to do nothing. Well, it turns out that doing some mobility is within the realm of possibilities, so that's one that I've put in and kept in, and we'll see what other things we can do. Yesterday we went out for a day to a park. We walked a lot, and towards the end of the day the foot got irritated again. So walking, yes. Walking for 4 hours, no. But you have family commitments, things that need to be done. So it's important to try to balance that. And that is also one of the purposes of doing all of this health and fitness stuff, is to be able to spend time with the family. Was the injury sports related? No, I don't think so. I think I injured it on one of those indoor playgrounds while I was chasing after the kids, which is the most likely explanation. But anyway, some mobility and 10 minutes of kettlebell, simple complex of squat, deadlift, row, squat, press, and kettlebell swings, 10 times left, 10 times right. Repeat 5 times, because that's a set of 2 minutes of work. And that was good fun. And I hope to be able to do more of that in the future. So that's where that is. But let's talk about sleep, because that's what we're here for today. It is Monday. And on Monday we talk about sleep. On Tuesday we talk about food. On Wednesday we talk about movement. On Thursday we talk about friendship. On Friday we talk about hobbies. And on Saturday we talk about motivation, habits, routines, and systems. And on Sunday we reflect a little bit. We take a bit of a pause. Sunday would usually also be the day where I go for my longest run or most intense run or longest walk. But that's off the table for now. Maybe I just need to get a stationary bike. Who knows? In any case, sleep. Sleep matters, right? I will give you an example from the last 5 days just to help you understand how this affects me. So last week, our youngest caught a bug. And because he got a bug, he wasn't sleeping as well as he could have. So he started to keep us up, started to interrupt the night flow. Great. Usually 1 or 2 nights, not a problem. 3 nights becomes a bit of a drag throughout the week. But then Thursday, I had a work event that lasted till late. I got home after midnight. I need to be up early because we had an appointment here for a stream. I wanted to get some movement in, or at least get the stream in, because I was actually at that stage not moving because I was recovering from my foot injury. I'm still recovering from that foot injury. But you notice that short night of sleep, then it became 32 degrees in this country, out of the blue. And you notice that the heat and the sunlight keeps people up longer. My youngest seems to be ultra sensitive to that, which is not a bad thing, but then it's like a week of sleeping less than 7 hours, actually closer to 6 hours, one night even 5 hours. And you can still function, but you start to notice, right? You start to notice you get scratchy throat, a bit of the sniffles, you start to feel tired, your body starts to ache, things process a bit slower, it's harder to focus. I start to look terrible, no, I'm joking. And that is that is just 1 week of moderately poor sleeping, not even terrible sleep, just missing an hour here, missing an hour there, having a long night here, having a beer at a work event. Probably also doesn't help the sleep quality. And you just notice everything becomes a bit harder. This is true in your teens, in your 20s, and in your 30s, as well as in your 40s. Okay. So the basics of biology are very simple. We need to sleep to recover physically, neurologically, psychologically, emotionally, hormonally. There are a lot of processes that happen in our body when we sleep, and the better our sleep quality, the better our recovery quality, the more we're able to deal with, whether it's emotions, thinking, physical strain and activity, stress. We just do better with better sleep. Okay? I got 8 hours of sleep last night. I'm so happy. I feel so much better instantly. But that doesn't make up for the nights of sleep that I missed. Basically, in those 24-hour cycles, that is it. Now, a lifetime of poor sleep is linked to poorer health outcomes. A lifetime of better sleep is linked to better health outcomes, okay? And you start to see these detrimental effects of lack of sleep very quickly. So you just want to keep that in mind, that you will start to see poorer performance, less impulse control, tendency to snack, to eat junk foods, to not be thinking clearly, to become a bit irritated, irrational, to feel sluggish, not only mentally but also physically, to start to feel little aches and pains throughout your body. When you stop sleeping well, or maybe that is how you chronically feel, and maybe you've never thought about the topic of sleep before. So here's a wake-up call to get to sleep better. Haha. So just keep that in mind, okay? There is a lot that happens in the human body while we sleep, and it's a process that we absolutely need to keep ourselves healthy, fit, and going for life and for living, okay? That's all I have for you today, friends. I think the one small change we can make in terms of our sleeping habits, yeah, is to really look into, yeah, not how dark it is in the room, not how cool it is in the room, yeah, but how noisy it is in the room, okay? Is there a lot of background noise? I lived next to a bus depot for a while. The buses would stop running at 1, start running at 4:30, okay? It kept me up. It was absolutely detrimental to my health and well-being, and I only realized years later when I heard Matt Walker talk about why we sleep that I understood that that had been going on for more than a year, and that year had put me in a spot where I had lost so much sleep that I had a very negative outlook on life. I was eating a lot, I was overweight, I wasn't handling stress as well as I could, and I was just saying, I need to get out of here, to myself subconsciously, without even realizing it. Now looking back, I think that sleep interruption was a huge part of that pattern that I wasn't even aware of, right? So having noise on the background is absolutely detrimental to your sleep. If you can't avoid it, that's fine. Then we need to find something that we can put in our ears so that we can actually sleep better and uninterrupted through the night. Remember, the goal is to get to that 8 hours of high quality sleep, right? Over time, and figuring out what the little things and habits are that we can do. We've talked about sleep masks, we've talked about temperature, we've talked about darkness. Now we're going to talk about sound as well. So listen to the sound at night. Maybe put on a recording. See everything that you hear, because even sounds that you're not aware of while you're sleeping might get you out of that deeper state of rest that you so urgently need. And maybe get a set of earplugs to help you sleep better through the night. All right, friends? Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for watching and listening. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. It's the person we are today. It's going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. So a bit of kindness is going to go a long way. All right? And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I will see you tomorrow. And remember to hit like, subscribe, check out my channel, and who knows, maybe start up a conversation with me on one of the other videos. Subscribe. Bye-bye.